Now, shall I go, whoa? Shall I go, ah? Or shall I just go? Yes, that was Pokemon Yellow. I thought I would start off this Pokemon Legends Arceus review with a dive into my past with the Pokemon games, because I feel like a lot of people may be in the same boat as me when it comes to Pokemon Legends Arceus, so I think if I dive in and explain, you'll understand to the conclusions I come to. So Pokemon Yellow was where it all began for me. I collected those Pokemon, I beat the Elite Four, and I beat the game, essentially, and that was it. It wasn't until Pokemon Gold that my pinnacle of Pokemon really hit, because my brother had Pokemon Silver, all my friends had Pokemon Gold or Silver, we were all out in the streets trading with our link cables. It's where I managed to get the full Pokemon experience. I think the way it was intended, I got everything out of it. I completed the Elite Four, I went back to Johto, I beat Red, and everything in between. And I was always out trading, I wanted to get all of them. I think I did end up getting all of them. I think to the point where you kind of hacked in Celebi as well. But regardless, that's where I fell in love with Pokemon. And then following that, I got Pokemon Crystal. I didn't have the same experience with it. I completed it, went back to Kanto, beat Red. I like the fact that the Pokemon moved in Pokemon Crystal. There's a few additions in the map of Johto. But then my Pokemon journey ended. I got the Game Boy Advance and I didn't get Ruby or Sapphire or even Emerald. I kind of went on to other RPGs. I got Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, Golden Sun, and I kind of left the Pokemon scene for a very long time. And there was no real kind of reason behind that. So we flash forward, I get a Nintendo 3DS because I think I wanted Bravely Default. And Pokemon X and Y came out around the same time, and I thought maybe it's time to dive back in. So I dove back in, and it was just a normal kind of RPG game experience. I didn't get the life that Pokemon Gold gave me when I was a child, and I just completed it and moved on. And then Pokemon Sun and Moon came out. I ignored that. I think before that, Alpha Sapphire and Mega Ruby came out. I've actually purchased that, but I never played it. I don't know if it's because there was too much water, or just because, again, I was tired of the generic experience. So Sun and Moon came out, skipped that, and then I got Ultra Sun and Moon. I got Ultra Moon. I don't know, all the titles from there on out kind of confused me, and I started playing that game, and I decided to take a shiny hunting approach because that was all the rage, and it just didn't click, and I kind of skipped Ultra Sun and Moon as well. And then obviously Nintendo Switch, we were waiting for that new Pokemon game. We got the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, didn't play it because I didn't really like the Pokemon Go was fine on mobile, I didn't have to bring that implementation to console. And then Sword and Shield came out and I bought it. I went on that hype and I was like, Sword and Shield, this is where I get back into Pokemon. And I played it all the way through. I enjoyed my time with it, but again, it was just a generic RPG experience. I completed it and I left it. I didn't do any end game, no shiny hunting or anything else. And then Brilliant and Diamond and Pearl was on the horizon. I thought, okay, this is a game that I skipped. I didn't play. I have no kind of attachment to it. Let's do this. And again, I have yet to get past the beginning of that game. But it wasn't until Legend Arceus was shown in the same Pokemon Presents as the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes, and I was like, oh, that looks cool. But it didn't really win me over at first. It wasn't until the more in-depth trailers where I was like, okay, this looks pretty cool. I've got to get this game. And I got this game. And that's where it leads us to today, the review. And I've got to say, in a nutshell, if you wanted to just end the review, end the video here, it is a really, really good Pokemon game. And I got the same kind of vibes from when I got Pokemon Gold for the first time. Just the way it presented it was what it was in my mind when playing through Pokemon Gold, but just opened up so much more. So in a nutshell, fantastic game. So let's go through everything in Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm going to start off with the graphics because I just want to get this out of the way because it's a very diverse topic. Yes, the graphics are not great. The graphics, the trees, the draw distance, the frame rate, they're not great compared to other open world games on the Switch like Xenoblade Chronicles. Breath of the Wild is probably a comparison you're going to make straight away. Yeah, it's not on par. Did this bother me? Not really at all. And that is my view on the graphics, really. And we're going to move straight on to the story. And I never thought I'd really get into the story with a Pokemon game, because with Pokemon Gold, I didn't really follow the story. I just wanted to catch them all and just have fun with friends. This one, we kind of come from the future. We'll go back, thrown back into the past. And it's nice to have some real Pokemon lore. And that's another thing that got me hooked in. We're from the future. Arceus has transformed our normal phone into some kind of god phone, and we are going to be completing the first ever Pokédex, and that interested me. There is a story with so many nods to Diamond and Pearl as well, but obviously I didn't have enough attachment to those games to kind of get all those nuts and crannies and all those Easter eggs and references and all of the lineage with the characters. But the story is just kind of looking at it as a whole, really enjoyed the story. Now, I haven't completed the game. I'm over 50 hours in. That's why this review series is called 50 hours in. I've reached the fourth area, about to go to the fifth area. But I've done a lot of side questing and a lot of exploration. And that's where I feel like I can give something, a good perspective in the review. So let's move on to the gameplay loop. The gameplay loop is fantastic. The smoothness of this gameplay loop is above anything I've played. Just the sheer smoothness of the game. The fact that you can just go out to an area. There may be a, what are they called? An outbreak of a certain Pokemon. There may be a time distortion. Or you might just want to grind some materials or just complete the Pokédex so you get them nice little stars around the completion. And the completion in the Pokédex in itself at first was overwhelming. I was thinking I've got to do all of these, but you've only got to do a certain amount, get enough points to get a 10 rank on it, and if you wanted to perfect it, that's up to you. And I think that's something that I kind of want to do because that challenge is there. But just going out into that open area in whatever region or part of the island you want to go to, the fact that I can just throw Pokeballs, I can distract them with berries, I can throw items to kind of prevent them from attacking me, I can hide myself in smoke bombs, I can scare them off with scatter bombs, is awesome. I get to play the game how I want to play it. If I just want to throw Pokeballs left, right and centre, I can do that. And it's really enjoyable. Just having that noise and the firework come off the Pokeball doo-doo-doo-doo, is absolutely just a pleasure in itself. And I played last night to get some footage. And I went back to the first island because I didn't want to show any major spoilers. And I had a completely different experience than I had last time that I went out into an area. I got absolutely... I went against an alpha Alakazam, and I caught it first go. I managed to distract it with some food and got it. And then as soon as I caught it, obviously it looked like it was going to escape. But as soon as it did it, a time distortion appeared at the same time. And I was like, whoa, I've not experienced this. And you'll see this in the footage. And it's things like that that make this game great. And I just want to keep on going, getting all the Pokemon. And I'm getting so distracted that I'm not carrying on with the story at the moment. I'm not progressing through the parts of the island. And that, in my eyes, is a fantastic gameplay loop to have. It doesn't feel tedious. It doesn't feel like it's a grind. It doesn't feel like, oh man, I've really got to catch all of these Pokemon. It's a challenge, and it's a fun challenge at that. And I thoroughly enjoyed the gameplay loop. Now, the mechanics within that gameplay loop, very simple. Someone that's never played a Pokemon game before can pick it up and play. And I do like the fact that everything's got that smooth transition. I told you, smoothness is key. Going between your mounts, your different noble Pokemon or your ride Pokemon, from going from water to land to mountains to treasure hunting. It's just a click of a button, and sometimes you don't even need to click that button to do that. The battles, back to turn-based, but these are so smooth, fast and snappy. You just go into it, you can move around freely if you want to, if you kind of want to immerse yourself in that battle, and battle the Pokemon like you would. You got the agile and strong style that adds a bit more depth to it. Because this is a single player game, you can really affect the kind of turn play. So you use your agile style to get an extra turn in. Use your strong style for a bigger hit, and you may lose a turn, but at the same time you might get one hit KO, which is nice. You think, I like how fast and on your toes you need to be with this game. It's awesome, and it's something great to just kind of watch as a spectator as well. So as a whole, the gameplay gets like a double thumbs up from me, because it's everything that I wanted, and I think it's everything that the Pokemon franchise needed. Because going back to when I was talking about my past with Pokemon, I think it's the thing that turned me off is the fact that it didn't change over all these years. Like, I'll compare it to a game like Final Fantasy. Yes, the earlier games had the turn-based system, but they changed the gameplay ever so slightly. Final Fantasy V had the job systems. Final Fantasy IV had the more depth story, had the ATB system at its peak. Final Fantasy VI, you could split into different teams. Final Fantasy VII introduced materia and stuff like that. Final Fantasy VIII had the junction system, as broken as it was. Final Fantasy IX had the abilities that you could learn from equipment. They evolved and adapted from their core. Pokemon had played it safe, let's be honest, for the majority of the time that they released the games. And this one, they took a risk. And this is a main series game, it isn't a spin-off. We're going to see more of these, and that makes me excited. But just thinking about it and thinking of the future, man, just not seeing Charmander, Bulbasaur and Squirtle gets me excited whenever they do come in this style of game. Flying around on a Charizard, wouldn't that be cool? It's possible now. It is possible now. And it makes me very excited for the future. Now let's talk about music and sound. Again, Pokemon music has always been amazing. They've got some of it playing in the background as you're listening to me speak. And it does just as here. I wish it played a little bit more. It kind of had that, it has that Breath of Wild ambient experience where it's sometimes quiet and you just listen to the sounds around you. But when that music kicks in, whether it's when it hits midnight or it hits the morning or it's the afternoon or you go into battle, it is a pleasurable experience when it comes to the music. The sounds, gratifying. Every time you hear the do-do-do-do when you catch the Pokemon with the crackling at the fireworks, satisfying. They did a cracking, no pun intended, job with sound and music. So I think that's everything I want to cover of Pokémon Legends Arceus. Covered the graphics. Yes, there is a massive debate. It doesn't really bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. Gameplay is where it's at. It's solid gameplay and it is the right direction for where Pokemon needs to go. Pokemon need to do this. They can keep their mainline series as like a beginner series, and they can keep this as another mainline series for people like me that just kind of want to have that bit more exploration. This is the next step of Pokemon. Music and sound, amazing. Now when it comes to kind of like more things I really enjoy about it, I think the game really clicked with me when you had the side quest of when you first get Weirdeer and you do the balloon popping activity side quest. It reminded me of the Chocobo activities in Final Fantasy X, and at this point I clicked with the game completely. I was like, I'm all in with these side quests. This is a true JRPG experience because you have the try and pop balloons with Poké Balls, doing the same with Basculegion when you get onto the seas. I was like, this is really hitting all the nails on the head. And then you have the collectibles. The unknowns are collectibles. I guess it's a collectible game in itself because you're collecting Pokemon. But having these extra things like the Wisps, finding these around the map, and again, the unknowns hidden all across the map, collecting them all, getting all these experiences. The fact that the town develops as you play as the game. All these kind of RPG tropes are in there, but in its kind of Pokemon style. And it's amazing. It really is. And if you have a Nintendo Switch and you've always been interested in Pokemon, or you want to try it for the first time, I think this is for everyone. I think this is a game for everyone, and it's something that everyone needs to try out. So if you have a Switch, you need to pick up Legends Arceus. Like, it is a phenomenal game. If you look past the graphics, the gameplay is there. Please don't let the graphics turn you off a game. I know that sometimes it can add to immersion and stuff like that, but don't let this dictate if you should get this game or not. If you fell out with the Pokemon series for a while, like me, and you struggle to get back into it because you feel like it's not changed, get Pokemon Legends Arceus. If you are a massive Pokemon fan get Pokemon Legends Arceus. I don't think there's a situation where you don't try this game out unless you just don't like games. Then there you go, that's probably the only reason. And it's just come to my head. Shiny Pokemon are so accessible in this game, and I caught my first shiny Pokemon that wasn't scripted. It wasn't a red Gyarados. It wasn't the shiny Ponyta that you get within one of the side missions. And it was really exciting. Like, it's just stuff like that. Things keep like entering the head as I do this. But I think I want to wrap things up with that. It is a great experience. I hope the gameplay that I showed you has kind of done it justice, and the words that I've said have kind of pushed it. I wanted to let you know my thoughts, my history of the Pokemon series, and if they carry on with this direction, I'm in like I was when I was a young lad. So, Game Freak, you've definitely got something going with this, and I think you should keep it up with Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm not going to give the game a rating. I honestly think you should just give it a try if you've got a Switch. So there you have it, my review, my 50 hours in review. It's probably going to be 100, it could be 150. It's one of those games that I'm going to keep going back to just to do a little bit, because each time, again, it's a different experience. Yes, I'm catching Pokemon, yes, I'm grinding resources, but the way things may happen are different. There could be a shiny Pokemon. Time distortion. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. It helps out the channel a lot. If you like what you see, and you'll see more videos like this, I'll always be doing reviews of games that I've hit over 50 hours in to give you my take, because I play a lot of games, and this happens to be one of the first of this year. So there we go. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.